Arise, ye tarnished, and welcome back to the channel. I am Amalgamash, and today I wanted to highlight some of the additions to the Kickstarter campaign for the Elden Ring board game from SteamForged. They did say that this wasn't going to be quite like other Kickstarter projects, and that it's often the case with such projects that additional goals, stretch goals, are unlocked during campaigns. But this one is a little bit different. Every day, SteamForged has been publishing updates to the campaign, updates in the form of very long, very well-written, immersive lore pieces. Second-person adventures in which you are the hero tarnished, or perhaps not-so-hero. At the end of the written lore piece, you are presented with a choice. These choices are supposed to culminate in additional content that will be released for free to all of the backers of the core and all-in pledges. And so far, this has been meaning new miniatures. And which miniatures are we getting? And what is the lore currently at? What choices do we need to make? How does this all work? We're actually a few days in, so I'm just going to go over the very first update that they added and just give a piece of what this entailed. In a post entitled It Begins, they wrote, in an update post entitled It Begins, they wrote the following: Golden light reaches from the skies above, and we arise, answering an enigmatic summons. The time is upon us to begin our journey together. Sound is the first to return. Wind, tickling the leaves in the trees and brushing over the stones and grass on the ground. For a moment, you are content to listen. Listen to the world around you without movement or intention. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the sound of a bird call, a call to action. You open your eyes. This goes on for a bit until you reach the end of the first lore piece, and I don't want to spoil how it's written. You could just read the text on the screen if you want to spoil yourself, but it does culminate in a choice. What will you do, Tarnished? Stay on the trail and wait for the figure, or explore the ruins? Whatever you do, you can let them know in the comments in the post what your choice would be, and by 12 o'clock GMT, they'll go tally all of the choices, and they'll write their next post based on which choice you've made. In the process of doing so, unveil to you which new thing we have unlocked. So since this one already happened, the consensus of the community comments was to explore the ruins, thus unlocking our first goal. This actually resulted in another lore piece. It gave us the details of our first unlock. We have found 6 skeletons. We have 6 skeleton minis that will now be added to the overall contents of the core and all-in pledges. 6 more skeletons, and this does have a lot to do with what was actually encountered in the written lore piece, so this was really, really cool to see. Now, this also is a bit dated, so we are ahead of this, and the next choice was to strike out west or investigate the commotion. Again, continuing from the previous story that they wrote. Now, it's not just updates with these lore pieces and these daily unlocks that they have been giving. They actually did write a post about an information update. They did this in such a cool way. They even presented the Elden Ring 1-hour OST for you to listen to while you were reading the rest of the post, just so you could get in the mood. But this talks a lot about the Weeping Peninsula expansion that comes with the entry pledge, and it gives us new information about this expansion. And I felt it very necessary to make this video, especially due to this point, because this was something that I was concerned about. It wasn't clear to me from the beginning, and I'm very happy to see that it is clarified, and that, well, they can word it better than I can, so I'll just read it here verbatim. Is there repeated content? Due to the number of classes in the video game, some Tarnished appear more than once in different sets. That's why each Tarnished comes with unique equipment cards, including the Astrologer and Prophet, who have different starting equipment than their compatriots in Realm of the Grafted King, and unique class-specific quests. This of course means the Astrologer and Prophet also each have unique attack and effect card decks different to those in Realm of the Grafted King, for those keeping score. In fact, the only place you may see repeated cards between sets is in the effects and materials deck, and that's purely because of how effects work, and because how materials are discoverable in multiple regions in the video game, some materials. Even then, these cards will be kept to a minimum to ensure each expansion adds a wealth of brand new content to your campaign. For those wondering where the remaining 2 Tarnished classes appear, our exploration goals have only just begun. So I did express a concern that they were basically going, not really a concern, just an observation, that they were going to be taking those 4 classes from the base, the core set, and they would have 2 of those classes repeated in one of the expansions, along with 2 more original classes, and then the other 2 classes would be repeated in another expansion along with 2 originals, but it seems like even though they did do copies of those classes, they are actually still unique in terms of their move sets and equipment sets. So really well done. Really, really well done there. That's awesome. That means it's not a one-to-one cloning of that class. Now, you could see that as a con, or you could see that as a good thing. But if you get the expansion, then you will technically have 4 brand new classes to play. Yes, you're getting a second prophet, but that prophet is different than the prophet that comes with the core game. In this same update, they talk a little bit more about the misbegotten enemies that I absolutely detest, as well as the Leonine Misbegotten, which is a greater enemy. Reading through the comments of this update post, it does seem like there's some more clarification for something that I did not realize in the last Elden Ring board game video that I made. The ring-bound quest books, the 4 that come with each core game or expansion, they are actually 4 copies of the same quest book for that expansion. That was something that was kind of implied, but it looks like I wasn't the only person who wasn't entirely sure what this meant. But each expansion will come with its quest book. It's just that it's 4 copies of the exact same book, 1 for each Tarnished. So it's not unique to the Tarnished, it's unique to the expansion. And there's just a copy for each Tarnished if you start in that expansion. And then I believe if you cross over into another area or the main game or what have you, then you'll trade in your books for the books that are unique to that area. This campaign does have 3 expansions, with a 4th one being teased to be unlocked through these daily lore goals, these quest choices. 5 expansions if you do count the 2 greater enemy expansions that come with the all-in tier. So we're going to get a set of books for Realm of the Grafted King, a set of books for Stormvale Castle, and a set of books for the Weeping Peninsula. 3 unique quest books total so far. Alright, the second stretch goal was unlocked in a blog post entitled A Broken Gladiator. We got yet another lore piece detailing the events of our adventure so far, and with that, an enemy discovered. We found Mad Pumpkinhead, an advanced enemy to be added to all of the core and all-in pledges for free. This guy is pretty big and fearsome when you come across him for the first time in the video game. I mean, he never stops being big and fearsome. My wife enjoyed seeing this unlock. She was like, oh yay, we get the pumpkin guy! I can't wait to see what the update will be to this choice, because our choices this time at the end of this lore piece were listen to their final words or end their misery. And no, they weren't talking about the pumpkin HUD barbarian gladiator guy here, but somebody entirely different. You'll have to go read the updates. They are really, really well written. I love them. Elden Ring in book form, that's what it is for me. It does the content justice. It does the subject matter right. I'm going to continue covering the updates, and we'll talk about the different things that we're going to get, as well as what the expansion seems to be leading to, this expansion that we are building together. I still have quite a suspicion that no matter what, these are all things that were going to be introduced no matter which way we went, and no matter what order. It's quite possible that I am wrong. I also did read in these comments that SteamForged definitely wants to do the other regions in the form of expansions. Somebody brought up saying, I don't just want to see the beautiful green pastures of Limgrave. Show me Liurnia, show me Caelid, show me the Altus Plateau, the other fantastic regions of the game. To which SteamForged replied something to the effect of, oh, we have plans. Oh yes. And I will drink to that. Alright, that's all the time I have for today. Stay tuned for more Elden Ring, the board game coverage. Go check out the Kickstarter in the link below, and I will see you next time. Till then, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye for now.